What's going on, guys? Boost Auto here, and in this video we're going to show you how to install tow mirrors for Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra 2500 and 3500 trucks. So let's get into it. Whether you are upgrading your Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra, our Boost Auto tow mirrors will let your truck stand out from the crowd, retain the features you love from your OEM mirrors like Power Fold, while upgrading to Boost Auto's premium lighting functions, or upgrade to premium features such as Power Fold and forward-facing spotlight, even if your truck did not originally have these features. Wherever your build stands, take the next steps with Boost Auto's GM-style tow mirrors. To get this and all other products offered for this truck, or if your truck is a different year range, check out all we have to offer at boostauto.com. Before we disconnect our batteries, let's roll down our front windows. Now let's disconnect our batteries. This is where your primary battery is located. Go ahead and disconnect the negative cable using a 10mm socket. If you have an auxiliary battery, disconnect that at this time too. With that out of the way, we can now remove our door panel. Here we are on the driver's side. We're going to remove this trim piece located behind the door handle. Pull back on the door handle and release the trim piece. Now we can remove the 7mm bolt that was under the trim piece. Now we're going to remove the trim piece at the door grab. Behind it, you'll find two more screws. Go ahead and remove them. Finally, remove the two screws at the bottom of the door panel. With the last two screws out of the way, all that's holding the door panel in place is clips all around the door panel. Go ahead and pop them out. With the door panel free, we can now lift it up and out. Be careful not to damage the door lock tab. We're at the back of the door panel. To remove the door panel, we need to remove the door connector and door cable. We'll start with the door connector. For the door connector, start with removing the door clip. For removing the door connector, pull back on the red locking tab, then push in on this gray tab and pull out the gray latch. Finally, for the door release cable, press down on the tab and pull it out to release it. Now we can set the door panel aside. Go ahead and remove this cover. We can now disconnect our connector. As you can see, this vehicle has one connector with one harness. Some vehicles might have another connector right next to it with its own harness. You'll disconnect that connector the same as you will this connector. Remove the four nuts holding in the mirror. While removing the nuts, support the mirror from the other side. Now we're ready to install our Boost Auto tow mirrors. Now our mirrors always come with two connectors, the main connector and the secondary connector. If your vehicle does not have a secondary connector, don't worry about that, just plug in your main connector. If your OE mirror did come with a secondary connector, plug it straight in just like your main connector. Regardless of your setup, you'll pass all the connectors through to the other side when mounting your mirrors. Guide the mirror in and secure from the other side. Like previously stated, some vehicles may have a secondary connector with harness. If your vehicle has this, plug it in. Alright guys, up next, let's talk about the cargo lights on your mirrors. If you option for cargo lights on your Boost Auto mirrors, but your factory mirrors did not come equipped with cargo lights originally, up next we're going to show you how to enable them in a few quick steps. On the driver's side, located right next to the brake pedal, locate your BCM connectors. Go ahead and disconnect your pink connector and your black connector at the BCM. We're going to be installing our cargo light module here. Quick side note guys, we also offer a cargo and reverse mod for your vehicle. And now would be a perfect time to install that too. We'll start with tapping the pink connector. To gain further access on the wires, peel some of the tape back. We'll be tapping to pin 26, which is on the bottom row, second from the right. Same thing on the black connector, peel some of the tape back. Next we'll be tapping to pin 9. Pin 9 is in the third row from the top in the second slot from the left. Tap to this wire using the provided red T-tap in your kit. Next, we will install our cargo light module. The module is direction specific, so take your blue end and plug it into the tap on the pink connector. And now take the other end and plug it into the other T-tap you installed. With our module installed, we can now reinstall the connectors. Now, if you option for a plug and play for either manual fold or power fold mirrors, your installation is almost complete. Like said, you will not have these connectors. All you'll have to do is reinstall your cover, the door panel, and reconnect the batteries. More of that later in the video. Now, if you option for upgradable features using our wireless ECU kit, we'll go over that next. We're gonna have to pass the connectors through the cover. To do so, we're gonna cut a slit into the cover. Pass the connectors through, and now install the cover. Up next, we'll connect our harnesses from the wireless kit. Your driver's side wireless module comes with 2 harnesses. Your first harness is this one, exclusive to the driver's side door. This connector has 2 white connectors that connect to the mirror and 1 black connector that connects to the wireless module. At this time, we could go ahead and connect the 2 white connectors. Your second harness will have 2 disconnects that will tap to power and ground, and these 2 small black connectors that will connect to your mirrors. The larger black connector will connect to your wireless module. Now, your mirror connectors will look slightly different depending on your configuration. Let's quickly go through them. If you option to upgrade the power fold and spotlight using our wireless kit, your mirror will have both black connectors with the blue and yellow wire harness for power fold and the pink wire harness for spotlight. In this case, connect the black connector with the blue and yellow wires from your harness to the corresponding connector on the mirror, and the black connector with the orange wires will go to the black connector with the pink wire. If your kit only has one of these wires, that means your mirrors are only option for one of the upgrades. If you only have the black connector with the blue and yellow wire present, connect the corresponding wire from your wireless harness to it, and tape the other 2-pin black connector out of the way. On the other hand, if only the black connector with the pink wire is present on your mirror, connect the black connector with the orange wires to this, and tape the other 2-pin black connector out of the way. With the mirror side all hooked up, trace the harness through and locate your quick disconnects, because next we'll be tapping for power and ground. Next, we're going to tap power and ground at our main door connector. To gain access to the wires on the back of the connector, we'll remove this connector cover, starting with cutting this zip tie. Now the connector cover is held in by 4 tabs at each corner. Go ahead and undo them. For further access on the wire, let's cut some tape. We'll start with tapping power. With the blue strip pointed down, locate pin 17. Pin 17 is located in the middle row, 5th from the left. Trace the wire down so you can tap beyond the connector cover. Tap using the red T-tap from your kit. Now take the red wire with the quick disconnect and plug it into the T-tap. Now we will tap the black wire to ground. Locate pin 30, which is in the middle row, 7th from the right. Trace the wire down and tap using your red T-tap. Now take your black wire with the quick disconnect and plug it in. Reinstall the connector cover. Lastly, we just need to plug these 2 black connectors from both of your harnesses to the wireless module. Before doing so, we'll continue with mounting your wireless module to the back of your door panel. For our wireless module, we'll be mounting it in this location. For us, this is the most suitable. However, you can mount the module in any location you would like. Our module will roughly mount over here in this location, so tie up any extra slack. Now we can bring over our door panel and connect these 2 black connectors to the corresponding connector slots on our wireless module. Now on the passenger side, we could go ahead and install our wireless ECU harness on this side. Remember, on this side, we're only going to have a single harness and only 2 black connectors, no white connectors like the driver's side. Depending on what you option for, you'll either have 1 or 2 connectors. However, it'll be the same as the driver's side. Go ahead and plug in your corresponding connectors. The second key difference is where we tap to for power and ground at the door connector. We'll show you that up next. For power, we're going to be tapping to pin 3. With the blue strip pointed down, pin 3 is on the first row, 3 slots from the left. Since this wire is a thicker gauge, we're going to use our blue T-taps, which can be found in your kit. Trace the wire past where the connector shield goes. Now connect the red wire with a quick disconnect to this T-tap. And in the same way, we'll tap to pin 10 for ground. Pin 10 is located on the top row, 3 over from the right. Now take the black wire with a quick disconnect on the end and plug it into the T-tap. And it goes without saying, we only have 1 harness for this side, which means we have 1 connector that goes into our wireless ECU module. The rest of the steps are identical to the driver's side. Now we're ready for door panel reassembly. Before we put it on, let's go ahead and reconnect our door connector and our door release cable. Line up the end of the door release cable with the door latch, pull it back, and slide it back into place. To reconnect your door connector, slide the connector in place, flip the latch over, and press in the red tab. Now reinstall the trim clip. Paying close attention to the door locking tab, go ahead and slide the door panel over and slide it in place. Now snap the clips into place. With the door panel in place, install the 2 screws at the bottom. Next, let's reinstall the screws behind the door grab. Reinstall the trim piece at the door grab. Finally, reinstall your screw and trim piece behind the door handle. With all that wrapped up, our final step is to reconnect the battery and the auxiliary battery if you have one. And that concludes our install. Thanks for watching.
To begin, start by activating the modules. Do this by pressing the left mirror adjust selector. Then use the left, right button sequence on the arrow pad to activate the modules. Once you hear 2 fast beeps, the modules are activated. While the modules are activated, the mirror glass will not adjust. Once the modules are activated, you may power fold the mirrors. Tap the up arrow to fold the mirrors out, or tap the down arrow to fold the mirrors in. You may see the passenger side mirror start folding slightly after the driver's side due to the modules communicating from side to side. While the modules are activated, you can enable the spotlights by tapping the right arrow. Once activated, your spotlights will remain on for 20 minutes unless manually deactivated. To turn the spotlights off, first activate the modules, then tap the right arrow. To deactivate the modules, you have 2 options. The first option would be to let the modules time out. If there is no activity for 10 seconds, the modules will automatically deactivate. You can also deactivate the modules manually by using the left, right buttons sequence on the arrow pad. You'll hear 3 fast beeps once the modules are deactivated. Once the modules are deactivated, any left-hand mirror adjustment will be slightly delayed to prevent erratic module activation.
Hey, thanks again for watching this video. To get this and all we have to offer, head on over to boostauto.com. And with that, it's Boost Auto signing off. Catch you in the next one.